Okay, welcome back. Now what we're going to try is where you see where we have the 8x inside of the absolute value bars. And the reason I picked this one was you need to make sure you do not see a plus or minus between that 8 and that x. So there's not going to be an opposite of the x. It's going to be the opposite of this. It's only one term. So on one side, I'm going to write it down exactly as I see it inside of the absolute value symbols, which is just 8x. And go ahead and finish that up. Say less than 8. Okay, and you know that you get the x by itself by dividing out the 8. And if you divide 8 out of one side, you divide 8 out of the other. X is less than, anything divided by itself is 1. So there's that side. Over here, you're going to take the opposite of everything in here. If you wanted to use the parentheses, you could do like this, and then just say the opposite of what's in there. Either way, you know that the opposite of 8x is negative 8x. So on just one term, I probably would not bother with this. Go ahead and finish it up is less than 8. Now what do I have to do? I have to divide out negative 8. I have to divide out negative 8. Ding, 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 ding. You know what that means when you divide by a negative number and you're talking about inequalities. That's going to be flip the inequality. Got to make sure we remember to do that. All right, so these cancel. And then I end up with x. And then if I divide one term by negative 8, I have to divide the other term by negative 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so 8 divided by negative 8 is negative 1. And now I ask myself, can you be less than 1 and greater than negative 1? Can you be to the left of 1 on the number line and to the right of negative 1? Yeah, 0 jumps to mind. So we know that that is an and. Therefore, we have two inequalities pointing to the left. X always goes in the middle. Negative 1 is the smaller number. X is the big, or 1 is the bigger number. And so there you go. That's that one. Okay, that's a 1 right there. Right here, it's a 1 from this one right here. Okay, let's look at the next one. So the next one, now we have something outside of the absolute value bars. Now we have this right here outside. So the way you do these is you treat it just like a big variable. You know, we treat inequalities like equations, even though they're not. On these, we treat, when we have something outside of the absolute value bars on the left side, we treat that as a variable. It's not a variable. We're going to treat everything inside. It wouldn't matter if there's 1,000 things in here. If it's in between the absolute value bars, I have to get it by itself on the left side. So how do we do that? Well, we just add 8 to both sides. You know how that works. Add 8 to both sides. 1 plus 8 is 9. So now I have the absolute value by itself on the left, and then I ask myself a question. Is this non-negative? It is, so I can go ahead and proceed. So on the left side, I go ahead and I write it down exactly as I see it. Finished with that side. Over here, I take the opposite of everything that's in there, where the opposite of x is just negative x. So x is less than 9. How do I get the negative x by itself? Well, you remember before that we're looking at, that's a negative 1 in there. But here's the shortcut on that. Anytime you have negative x by itself on the left side, all it's ever going to do is flip the inequality. Every time it's going to flip the inequality, and that negative is just going to jump over to the other side. That's the shortcut. If it's just negative x over here, you can flip the inequality, make the negative jump to the other side. All right, so now I ask myself the question, can I be less than 9 and greater than negative 9? Are there numbers to the left of 9 on the number line and to the right of negative 9 on them? Yeah. Negative 8, negative 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, all those. So this is an and. Both of my absolute values, both of my inequalities point to the left. X goes in the middle. Negative 9 is the smaller number. It goes on the left. 9 is the bigger number. It goes on the right. So there's the answer to that one. All right, and then in the next video, we will look at a few more.